Welcome to Whitechapel Blackhall Cow Bar. You're currently in the Whitechapel. This building is a 130-year-old building. It was previously used by the Uniting Church. In 2017 it was bought by April and Paul, who made it into the beautiful venue that it is today to hold weddings, functions and also funerals. From here we'll move into the Pergola Bar. This is used for first dance and also for those smaller intimate gatherings. From here we go into the reception area, Black Hall, which seats up to 70 guests. It is beautifully styled in black and complements any decor. Out the back we go to our lawn area where we accommodate for lawn games, fire pits for those cold winter nights. We also hold outdoor ceremonies and receptions. After a ceremony, couples can come down to the barn bar. Here you will meet and greet while the couple go off to have some canapes and have their photos taken. This is a great area to meet, have a drink and catch up on long lost friends and family. Herman House Cow Bar, where two of the original houses in the town of Cow Bar have been brought together. Both houses have a new lease on life and we expect to be around for 100 plus more years. Herman House accommodates up to 8 guests and also has folding bed and portable cot. In total, Herman House has 4 bedrooms, 4 en-suites, 2 kitchen dining areas and 2 living areas. Connecting the two under the same roof is a beautiful outdoor entertainment area with table and chairs, barbecue to have that special meal the night before or the night after your stay. Enjoy your time in Cow Bar and enjoy Herman House.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike from Scenic Brewery. Welcome to our little abode in Mount Alfred. We're in a 130-year-old general store and that's where our brewery sits. When you come inside you'll see the lovely copper pots. That's where we do all our brewing. The whole process is done in a day. We then go out the back and where our fermenters and bright beer tanks are. That's where everything becomes clearer and ferments. From day one to when we actually serve it to you, and our lovely range of 7 beers is about 5 weeks. Come along and have a look. We've got great food on the menu and terrific views. We've got lots of places where you can sit down, relax and absorb those views. Have our Dutch and German inspired food, pair it with a beer. Try one of our stirrup glasses, the original glass that you don't need a stubby cooler for. This is our Scenic Rim 7. We'll start with Jed, our ginger beer. A nice full pale ale. We use a local ginger and honey. Honey's from Dewar's Honey at Mugra. Shaz is our mid-strength pale ale, nice and hoppy. Great beer at the end of the day when you finish mowing the lawn. Next is Diggers, our full-strength pale. There's a character of my dad on there. Lovely beer, once again, hot summer's day, can't go wrong. Want something a little bit darker, if you like State of Origin, you can't beat the Fat Man. It's our Irish red, but we prefer to call it a Maroon Ale. Next is a lot darker, Giddy Gout Milk Stout. It is a full-bodied dark beer, nice and dark, nice creamy head. Great winter beer in front of the fireplace. Next up is our Far Q, our tongue-in-cheek dark horse of the brewery. It Belgian Abbey, 6.5%, got some kick. You'll love that in front of the fireplace as well. And our last and latest brew, Bowie and Blue Spiced Pumpkin Ale, American style beer. However, it has translated into Australia, into Queensland, into Mount Alfred. Nutmeg, cinnamon, vanilla, and the Bay Desert Blue Pumpkin, all rolled into a pale ale. Can't beat it. Give it a crack.
Welcome to Drehills Farm, home of Drehills Shires. Me and my husband Gavin run Drehills Shires here in Maroon. Here at Drehills Shires we've got a breeding program for the Shire horses which are on the endangered species list. We have 1 stallion and 6 breeding mares. We've got 6 foals due this year. There's only 350 shires in Australia and we are using a UK registered stallion that we bred ourselves to try and bring more bloodlines into Australia. And this is King, our Shire stallion that we bred. He's a 3-year-old, and we actually bred him here in Australia from our UK Shire that we had over there, which was Ace. And he consistently throws black 4 whites. This is our carriage barn. On the left-hand side, we have all our show vehicles, which range from 1850 upwards. We've got our show drays, our brewery English show dray, which is 1850. We also have our 2-wheeled cart and one that we used on the Olympics. On the right-hand side, we have all our commercial carriages, which is our Cobb & Co carriages, and our wedding carriages, our Cinderella pumpkin carriage, and our vehicle that we use for training. All of these carriages that you see here in this carriage barn, we can use for different promotions and weddings and funerals and other events that might be required. So we run Cobb & Co tours here in Maroon, which we do a tour of the Shire horse farm. We also do drover's lunch or morning tea, or we can also do these tours in Boonah, which is exactly the same. We leave from the Bunjugan down and we do either morning tea or drover's lunch. They are both about 2.5 hours long. We look forward to seeing you here in Maroon in the beautiful, outstanding scenic rim at our Shire horse farm.
Hello, I'm David McMore and this is Bunjugan Estate Vineyard. This vineyard was commenced in year 2000 and we grow 2 varieties of grapes, Chambourcin and Shiraz. 3 blocks, and later we'll try our Rosé and Shiraz, which we have on offer this afternoon. I'd like to talk about how we determine whether the grapes are ready for picking. In the old days, the way to do it was suck out the contents, taste it, have a look at the seeds, which are really nice and black, and then determine the colour in the skin. And as you can see, that's a fantastic pigment which is coming through. These have a Beaumet score of about 14, which gives you about 14% alcohol. So that's what we do. We'll snip off these bunches of grapes. We'll put them in a bucket and we continue down the row until we have picked all the grapes. What I'd like to do is invite you to come down to the house and we'll talk about the wines that we make, and also I'll try some and tell you what they taste like. Thank you. At Bunjugan Estate Vineyard we do 2 varieties of grapes. We do Chambourcin and we do Shiraz. With our Chambourcin, we will always have some form of a Chambourcin Rosé. In this case, a Chambourcin and a blended Shiraz Rosé. We'll always do a Shiraz in the years running up to a drought. Our Shiraz is quite spectacular. It's very soft. It's more a Merlot Pinot softness with the Shiraz tones. And we pride ourselves on our ports, our fortifieds. We will always do an unwooded port. You would call this a ruby port, and then we would have our tawny port. And currently our tawny port is drunk by the Governor of Queensland at Government House, a great accolade for our vineyard. In terms of the wines that we do, Chambourcin gives a wonderful colour. It gives a very dense, deep colour, similar to the way it was demonstrated on my hand, and it will come through in the rosé that way with a lovely violet hue, characteristic. Here's cheers and thank you.
Welcome to Boonah. The genesis of the commercial district is the commercial hotel site. The genesis of settlement were the 2 blocks of land that John Hooper and John Betts bought, which was around 1878. Prior to that, it was Dugandan Station Run, and prior to that, of course, it was Ugurapal country, and the Ugurapals called this ridge Bratungal. The first shop built by the Blumberg brothers, who were 3 Latvian Jews. In Christmas of 1882, In their second shop in 1886, they took on the receiving office, and that's how the name Blumbergville came about, because the Australia Post of yesteryear had to have a name for a place to send the mail to. Then when the railway line came through from Harrisville to Bunjugan, the railway department didn't think that Blumbergville was a suitable name for their siding. They took a bit of a census of the town, as it were, and one name that was suggested was Boonah, which was the Uguruppal name for the bloodwood tree. And legend has it, the stump of that bloodwood tree is underneath what used to be the laundry in the commercial hotel. And then in 1888, they felt that things were going so well that they could invest in a hotel for the town. And that's the Australian Hotel, which was completed by 1889. And they built their first detached home beside the hotel. In the same year, they also built a third shop, and that's where the Maynards building stands today, and very likely part of that Maynards building was the original third shop of the Blumberg brothers. So the Blumberg brothers were the genesis of the commercial district. Their shop was followed by many others. Everything evolved from that point. The butter factory is probably the last flagship for the primary production on which the town has relied strongly in the past. It looks very much as it did back then, except some of the outer buildings no longer remain. In its heyday, the butter factory was taking milk from around 800 suppliers. If you extended the number of employees to the number of suppliers to the number of ancillary industries which grew up around it, as in transport, it would have been the biggest money injection into the town. There's so many things that have shaped how the town has become. It's a town full of stories. There is so much history here. It's been able to meld the old with the new and remain a strong community. It's somewhere to be proud to say you come from Boonah.